Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. The music played, and Dave moved, and in that moment, something magical happened. Dave Scott, the gifted choreographer behind You Got Served and Step Up, 2. The Streets, brought far more to the world than just unforgettable dance moves. He brought joy. He brought hope. He brought light to stages and screens and to the hearts of everyone who watched him work. On June 16, 2025, Dave passed away at the age of 52. The cause was not disclosed publicly, but his family and friends shared that he left surrounded by love. Born in Compton, California, Dave grew up with rhythm in his bones and dreams in his heart. He was a basketball player at Weber State University when his passion for dance became impossible to ignore. One night at a Utah club, he was spotted by Rob Bass's manager, and just like that, Dave's career was set in motion. It wasn't just talent that made Dave stand out. It was kindness, humility, and an uncanny ability to lift others up. Whether he was choreographing hit films or mentoring young dancers on So You Think You Can Dance, Dave always led with grace. Glee's Kevin McHale once said, "He made me feel comfortable and confident." Others called him a big brother, a guiding light. But Dave's path wasn't always smooth. Breaking into Hollywood's dance world and staying there took perseverance. He worked tirelessly behind the scenes, never chasing fame, only excellence. His vision changed the way hip-hop dance was seen in mainstream culture, blending street style with classic technique in a way that felt fresh, yet timeless. He inspired generations of dancers, not just to move, but to believe in themselves. So today we remember Dave not just for the beats he choreographed, but for the hearts he touched. He gave us routines we'll never forget, and moments we'll always cherish. Rest gently, Dave. Your rhythm lives on. Anne Burrell once said she knew she was meant to be a chef the moment she stepped into a restaurant kitchen, and anyone who watched her could feel that truth. She didn't just cook, she belonged. With her spiky platinum hair and fiery personality, Anne brought joy, confidence, and authenticity to every dish she prepared and every screen she graced. She wasn't just a TV host, she was a teacher, a cheerleader, and a force who believed food could change lives. Today, we remember not only the star of Worst Cooks in America and Secrets of a Restaurant Chef, but a woman whose journey speaks to the heart of every late bloomer, every dreamer, every person who's ever wondered, is this where I'm meant to be? Anne's path to the kitchen wasn't a straight one. After college, she took what she called the most miserable job in the real world. But at just 23, she found herself heartbroken by how out of place she felt, and made the brave decision to begin again. She moved back home, worked as a prep cook, and applied to the Culinary Institute of America. That choice led to a career that would inspire millions. Through years of hard work in top restaurants, and later in front of the camera, Anne brought bold flavors and even bolder spirit to kitchens everywhere. She believed that food should be joyful, imperfect, and shared. Whether mentoring home cooks or making us laugh with her signature sass, Anne reminded us that cooking is about love, not perfection. On June 17th, Anne was found unresponsive in her Brooklyn home. According to reports, she had suffered cardiac arrest. She was just 55. Anne leaves behind her loving husband, stepchildren, siblings, and the millions who found joy in her shows. Her colleagues describe her as fearless and kind, the kind of friend who always showed up. And as Rachel Ray said, she lit up every room she walked into. So tonight, maybe pour a glass of wine, dance in your kitchen, and cook something a little messy, a little bold, just like Anne would have wanted. Breaking news. He has been the voice of our childhoods, the face of our fears and hopes, and the beating heart of American cinema. But as Tom Hanks enters the twilight of his legendary career, is the beloved actor silently preparing to take his final bow? Welcome to Who Died Today, USA. In today's episode, we unravel the extraordinary journey of Tom Hanks, one of the most respected, trusted, and quietly enduring actors of our time. His story is not only about Oscar-winning performances or billion-dollar franchises, it is about resilience, heartbreak, health battles, and the strength to stand tall when everything around you threatens to collapse. Born on July 9, 1956, in Concord, California, Thomas Jeffrey Hanks came from humble beginnings. His childhood was shaped by divorce and instability. His parents split when he was just 5, and Tom found himself bouncing between households, often the outsider in chaotic new environments. It was in these moments of loneliness and observation that he developed the empathy and curiosity that would later fuel his greatest roles. He discovered acting in community college and quickly fell in love with the craft. A scholarship at the Great Lakes Theater Festival in Cleveland gave him the break he needed. He immersed himself in Shakespeare and the stage long before the silver screen knew his name. In the early 1980s, Hanks gained attention with the sitcom Bosom Buddies, and his comedic charm caught the eye of Hollywood. His big screen breakthrough came with Splash in 1984. Audiences fell in love, but it was Big, 1988, that catapulted him to stardom, earning him his first Oscar nomination for portraying a child trapped in an adult's body. Then came the 1990s, a decade that cemented Hanks as not just a star, but a cinematic institution. Philadelphia, 1993, and Forrest Gump, 1994, brought him back-to-back Academy Awards. He became the first actor since Spencer Tracy to win 2 consecutive Best Actor Oscars. But while the world celebrated, Hanks carried the weight of emotional preparation, physical transformation, and the pressure to never stumble. From Apollo 13 to Saving Private Ryan, from Castaway to The Green Mile, his performances were as much about vulnerability as they were about strength. His characters were never superheroes. They were flawed, compassionate, broken, and brave. And in lending his voice to Woody in the Toy Story franchise, he embedded himself into the hearts of generations. But few knew the personal cost behind the curtain. To physically prepare for demanding roles, Hanks subjected his body to punishing extremes. For Castaway, he lost over 50 pounds. Doctors warned that the cumulative toll of these changes contributed to his eventual diagnosis of type 2 diabetes in 2013. He made this revelation with characteristic calm, saying, "I'm part of the lazy American generation that has blindly kept dancing through the party and now finds ourselves with a malady." Despite the diagnosis, Hanks refused to slow down. He overhauled his lifestyle, committed to exercise and dietary changes, and continued acting, producing, and writing with unmatched drive. Then came the global moment that reminded the world just how human even icons can be. In early 2020, Tom Hanks and his wife, actress and singer Rita Wilson, were among the first high-profile figures to contract COVID-19. Isolated in Australia, they became the faces of early pandemic fear, but also of grace and reassurance. Hanks's regular updates, laced with humor and calm, brought peace to millions. They recovered, but the episode left a lasting imprint. When Hanks later appeared in public with a visible hand tremor, concern rippled across the internet. Was it related to his past health battles? Was there more going on behind the scenes? Hanks addressed the matter directly, stating that aging, long hours, and residual effects from past roles and conditions were the cause. "I feel better now than I did at 35, he assured fans. But for many, the tremor symbolized something deeper, the fragility of a man we had all considered untouchable. Through it all, Hanks leaned on his greatest anchor, Rita Wilson. Married since 1988, their partnership has weathered the highs of fame and the lows of illness. They raised a blended family with grace and humor. Hanks often refers to Rita as his true north, the one who kept him grounded when Hollywood's storm winds blew hardest. In recent years, Hanks has shifted towards storytelling behind the camera. He published a novel, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece, and continues to serve as executive producer on historical projects like Masters of the Air, a companion to Band of Brothers. His work has become more reflective, more legacy-oriented. He is not chasing fame anymore, he is curating impact, but the industry is changing. In 2023, Hanks addressed the controversial rise of artificial intelligence in cinema, particularly the use of digital likenesses. His film Here, which used AI to de-age its stars, drew both acclaim and criticism. Hanks defended the technology, noting that while the tools change, the heart of storytelling must always come from the performer. So what do we make of Tom Hanks today? He is no longer the fresh-faced everyman of Big, nor the boyish astronaut of Apollo 13. He is a man who has weathered fame, illness, controversy, and personal sacrifice. He has embraced aging not as a retreat, but as a responsibility. His presence remains gentle but powerful, like a lighthouse standing firm against the tide. He once said, "The only way you can truly control how you are seen is by being honest all the time." And that honesty, that steady reliability, is what makes Tom Hanks not just an actor, but a cultural cornerstone. Let us ask you, when you think of Tom Hanks, do you picture Woody's voice reassuring Andy, the soldier whispering a message to a grieving family, the castaway weeping into a storm? Or do you see the man behind it all, resilient, honest, and quietly heroic? Let us know in the comments. Which Hanks moment lives forever in your memory? And if this tribute touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to Who Died Today USA. Because while the lights may dim and the roles may end, the legacy of someone like Tom Hanks is forever lit in the hearts of all who watched him, learned from him, and believed, if only for 2 hours, that goodness always finds a way. Harris Yulin, the commanding presence who brought depth and gravitas to 6 decades of stage and screen, passed away on June 10, 2025, in New York City at the age of 87 due to cardiac arrest. Though often cast as the bad guy, Yulin's talent transcended stereotypes, leaving behind a legacy of artistry marked by emotional nuance and quiet intensity. Born in Los Angeles in 1937, Yulin's early life was shaped by resilience, abandoned as an infant and adopted at 4 months old. That resilient spirit would echo throughout his prolific career. His acting journey began off-Broadway in 1963 and led to a celebrated Broadway debut in Watch on the Rhine in 1980. He shone in productions like The Price, The Visit, and Hedda Gabler, earning Drama Desk nominations and widespread respect in the theater world. As a director, he won the Lucille Lortel Award for The Trip to Bountiful, which captivated audiences with its emotional honesty. On-screen, Yulin brought unforgettable energy to roles in Scarface, Ghostbusters 2, Clear and Present Danger, and Training Day. He was nominated for an Emmy for his performance in Frasier, portraying a mobster with his signature blend of menace and charm. Whether he was Wyatt Earp, a haunted patriarch, or a political schemer, Yulin infused each character with a lifetime of truth. Beyond the stage and camera, Yulin taught at Juilliard and Columbia University, nurturing the next generation of performers. Even in his final days, he was preparing to film American Classic, starring alongside Kevin Kline and Laura Linney, a project he deeply cherished. He is survived by his wife, Kristen Lohman, and a circle of family and friends who adored him. To the end, Yulin remained a man of grace and humility. his legacy secured not just by the roles he played, but by the integrity with which he lived. In his voice, his presence, and his purpose, Harris Yulin leaves behind an enduring imprint on the soul of American theater and film. She was one of the boldest voices of second-wave feminism. And now, Susan Brownmiller is gone at 90. But how did a Brooklyn-born writer reshape how the world talks about rape and power? Today, we remember not just a political firebrand or best-selling author, but a fearless thinker whose words sparked a cultural reckoning and helped a generation of women name the violence they'd long endured in silence. Susan Brownmiller, the feminist journalist and author of Against Our Will, Men, Women, and Rape, passed away on May 18, 2025, in the Bronx. Her landmark book, published in 1975, didn't just hit the bestseller list. It rewired public understanding of sexual assault, dismantling the dangerous myth that rape was about desire. Instead, she exposed it for what it truly was, an act of power, intimidation, and control. But first, did you ever read Against Our Will? Or maybe you remember the headlines, the protests, or her fierce debates on live TV? Let us know. How did her work first reach you? Born in 1935, Susan was raised in Brooklyn by Jewish working-class parents. She dabbled in acting before shifting to journalism. And it was there, in New York's radical feminist circles, that she found her voice. She helped organize speak-outs, joined protests, and co-founded the New York Radical Feminists. She wasn't afraid to call out power, whether it wore a judge's robes or ran a media empire like Hugh Hefner. Against Our Will took her 4 years to research and write. The result? A book that changed laws, founded rape crisis centers, and made once taboo topics part of national conversation. It was named one of the 100 most important books of the 20th century by the New York Public Library. And yet, Susan never stopped challenging, or being challenged. Her later interviews, often blunt and provocative, sparked debate, even among feminists. But through every controversy, one truth stood firm. Her commitment to defending women's safety, agency, and truth never wavered. Susan never married, had no children, and didn't seek the spotlight. But her words, brave, unflinching, revolutionary, echo in classrooms, courtrooms, and consciousness still. So how do you remember Susan Brownmiller? Was it her unrelenting scholarship, her sharp interviews, or the way she forced the world to stop looking away? She may be gone, but Susan's spirit, bold, combative, and enduring, lives on in every story now told, every truth now believed, and every woman who finally said, "No more." He once said he didn't want the job, but the moment he picked up the baton, Alf Clausen changed television music forever. Alf Clausen, the Emmy-winning composer behind The Simpsons' unmistakable musical identity, has passed away at the age of 84. He died peacefully on May 30th, 2025, at his home in Valley Village, Los Angeles, after a long and courageous battle with progressive supranuclear palsy. While his cause of death was no secret, his legacy remains as immense as his orchestral scores, a legacy of laughter, melody, and meticulous musical storytelling. Born March 28, 1941, in Minneapolis, and raised in Jamestown, North Dakota, Clausen's early years were filled with toy trains, orchestral records, and French horn lessons. Though he initially pursued engineering, one magical summer in New York, hearing West Side Story and Miles Davis, rewired his destiny. After training at Berkeley and cutting his teeth in Los Angeles as a music copyist and arranger, Clausen's big break came with Moonlighting. But it was 1990's second season of The Simpsons that changed everything. At first, he declined the offer. "I want to be a drama composer," he protested. But creator Matt Groening challenged him. "We don't see The Simpsons as a cartoon. We see it as a drama with drawn characters." That challenge sparked 27 years of musical genius. Clausen didn't just write background scores. He scored emotions. From See My Vest to The Garbage Man with U2, he turned punchlines into arias and satire into symphonies. Every week, he conducted a live 35-piece orchestra, a rarity in TV, because Groening insisted The Simpsons deserved it. Clausen composed for over 550 episodes and was nominated for more Emmys than any other TV composer in history. But in 2017, he was controversially let go, sparking fan outrage and leading to a lawsuit. He later settled, but his work had already etched itself into pop culture. More than just a composer, Alf Clausen was a quiet revolutionary. He redefined what TV music could be, layered, lush, and full of feeling. Today, we ask, which song still lingers with you? Was it the heartbreak behind a Bart moment, or the grandeur of a Homer daydream? Share your memories. Let's celebrate a man who turned animated chaos into musical art and never once looked back. Sasha Jenkins, the fearless journalist turned filmmaker who chronicled American identity through hip-hop, punk, and politics, has died at the age of 54. He passed away peacefully at home on May 23, 2025, after complications from multiple system atrophy. But what remains is a staggering legacy. A man who told stories America wasn't ready for until he made them impossible to ignore. Born in Philadelphia and raised in Queens, Jenkins was a product of two powerful forces: the graffiti-tagged walls of New York and the lens of his father, Horace Jenkins, a pioneering black documentarian. At just 20, Sasha launched Graphic Scenes and Explicit Language, one of the first graffiti zines. He later co-founded Beat Down, the first hip-hop newspaper, and then Ego Trip, a genre-defining magazine that celebrated the wild, beautiful chaos of skate culture, rap, and race. But Jenkins didn't stop at the page. He co-authored books like The Book of Rap Lists and The Book of Racism, and helped bring the sharp satire of Ego Trip's The White Rapper Show and Race-O-Rama to VH1. In the 2010s, Jenkins took his stories to the screen. With an eye for truth and a punk's heart, he directed and produced searing documentaries like Fresh Dressed, The Sound and Fury of Rick James, Louis Armstrong's Black and Blues, and Wu-Tang Clan, of Mics and Men, earning an Emmy nod for the latter. His final years saw him co-found Resurgent Pictures, amplifying unheard voices through raw, fearless storytelling. In Jenkins' words, hip-hop wasn't just music. It's American history. His films weren't just documentaries, they were declarations. Sasha Jenkins is survived by his wife, journalist and filmmaker Raquel Cepeda, and their two children. As we reflect on his life, we ask you, what did Jenkins' work open your eyes to? What truths did he reveal for you? Drop a comment and help honor the man who never looked away and taught a generation how to speak its truth. She once battled giant spiders and monstrous birds on screen. Now, Mara Corde has taken her final bow at age 95. But who was the woman behind the B-movie Scream Queen and the sugar-sweet coffee waitress who got to hear Clint Eastwood say, "Go ahead, make my day"? Today, we remember not just a cult icon of 1950s sci-fi, but a woman who lived Hollywood's golden era with grit, grace, and a little bit of glitter. Mara Corde, born Marilyn Joan Watts on January 3, 1930, in Santa Monica, California, began her showbiz journey as a teenage showgirl at the Earl Carroll Revue. It wasn't long before she was turning heads, first as a contract player at Universal International, then as the October 1958 Playboy Playmate of the Month. But it was Tarantula, 1955, that cemented her cult status. As Stephanie Steve Clayton, the lab assistant who survives radioactive terror, Corde became a favorite of drive-in audiences across the country. Her star continued to rise with creature features like the Black Scorpion and the Giant Claw, and westerns alongside the likes of Audie Murphy and Kirk Douglas. Still, when she married actor Richard Long in 1957, she stepped back from the spotlight to raise their 3 children. But Hollywood hadn't forgotten her, and neither had Clint Eastwood. Her friend and former co-star brought her back in The Gauntlet, Sudden Impact, and other films, helping her regain Screen Actors Guild benefits and shine once more on screen. It was in Sudden Impact that Corde found herself immortalized again, this time as the unsuspecting hostage in the iconic Make My Day scene. Corde died on February 9, 2025, at her home in Valencia, California, of arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. She is survived by her children and a legacy that stretches from silver screen monsters to real-life resilience. So what do you remember about Mara, the scream queen of Saturday matinees, the beauty in bold Technicolor? Drop a comment and celebrate a woman who made cult cool and kept fighting, even when the cameras stopped rolling. Denise Alexander, beloved star of daytime television and the enduring heart of General Hospital, has died at the age of 85. Her portrayal of Dr. Leslie Weber, compassionate, resilient, and fiercely maternal, made her not only a staple of the soap opera world, but also a pioneer among women on television. Though she passed away peacefully on March 5, 2025, in Boulder, Colorado, her legacy continues to shine in the hearts of generations who grew up with her on their screens. Born on November 11, 1939 in New York City, Denise began performing at just 6 years old. She voiced over 2,500 radio shows as a child, often appearing alongside industry legends like Hume Cronyn and Jessica Tandy. Her early television work included roles on The Twilight Zone and the film Crime in the Streets, 1956, with John Cassavetes. But it was soap operas that made her a household name. After a successful stint as Susan Martin on Days of Our Lives, Alexander joined General Hospital in 1973. Cast as Dr. Leslie Weber, she became one of daytime TV's first female doctors, a groundbreaking role at a time when such characters were rare. For over a decade, she anchored storylines full of heartache, romance, and resilience, including her complex relationship with her on-screen daughter Laura, portrayed by Jeannie Francis. Leslie's love triangle with Dr. Rick Weber and Monica Quartermain catapulted the show to the top of the ratings. At the height of her popularity, Denise was receiving hundreds of fan letters weekly and appeared regularly at packed fan events. When her character was written off in 1984 due to contract disputes, fans were so outraged that they picketed ABC's studios. Their dedication paid off. Leslie returned in 1996, resurrected from an off-screen coma. She continued to make appearances on General Hospital through 2021, becoming a beloved fixture of the show's legacy. Off-screen, Denise was also a photographer, a producer, and the wife of actor-director Richard A. Calla, who passed away in 2021. As showrunner Frank Valentini noted, Denise Alexander broke barriers on screen and off. She wasn't just an actress, she was a trailblazer, a friend, and a symbol of strength. Her life's work reminds us that in a genre built on drama and dreams, it's the heart that stays with us. Denise brought hers to every scene, and in return, millions brought her into their homes and never let her go. Mark Withers, the versatile television actor best known for his role as Ted Dinard on the original Dynasty, has died at the age of 77. He passed away on November 22, 2024, after a 2-year battle with pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a legacy of heartfelt performances, quiet dignity, and artistic dedication that spanned decades and genres. Born on June 25, 1947, in Binghamton, New York, Withers was a gifted athlete and scholar. A football star at Shenango Valley High, he earned a scholarship to Penn State before ultimately following his passion for acting. He went on to receive a BA in acting and directing from Cal State Los Angeles and a master's in theater from Minnesota State University. His journey into television began in commercials, recognizable to many from national campaigns for McDonald's, Crest, and American Airlines. But it was in 1981, as the ill-fated Ted Dinard in Dynasty, that Withers truly etched his place in TV history. His character's tragic arc not only sparked one of the show's most shocking moments, his death at the hands of Blake Carrington, but also led to the arrival of Joan Collins' iconic Alexis Carrington. Withers was never confined to a single genre. He took on roles in series like Days of Our Lives, Kaz, Wonder Woman, Magnum, P.I., Matlock, Frasier, Criminal Minds, True Blood, Sense8, and even Stranger Things late in his career. His film work included Basic Training, The Ultimate Life, Turnaround Jake, and Bolden. Despite his success, those closest to him remember him most for his warmth and humility. His daughter, Jessie Withers, shared, "He confronted his illness with the same strength and dignity he brought to his craft, creating a legacy of warmth, humor, and dedication." Mark Withers is survived by his beloved wife, Hyan Liu Withers, and his daughter, Jessie. Donations in his honor may be made to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Though he has taken his final bow, Mark Withers remains a part of television's golden mosaic, a reliable presence, a familiar face, and a true artist whose quiet excellence spoke volumes. Beans Morocco, the unforgettable character actor born Daniel Ernest Barrows, has died at the age of 90. A comic talent with a twinkle in his eye and a gift for turning bit parts into standout moments, Morocco passed away on May 29, 2025, in Bakersfield, California. His longtime friend and filmmaker Ryan Wise confirmed the news, celebrating him as someone who was always performing, always entertaining, and made everyone feel good. Born June 8, 1934 in Cincinnati, Barrows had a varied and adventurous life before becoming the beloved Beans Morocco. After high school, he attended Bates College and later served as a U.S. Navy pilot, a role that reflected both his discipline and daring. But it was in San Francisco's thriving comedy scene, studying under improv legend Del Close and performing with the Committee, that he found his true calling. Beans Morocco's career spanned decades in media. He made his screen debut in 1971's Billy Jack, then went on to appear in a string of cult classics including The Candidate, Blazing Saddles, Used Cars, and Eating Raoul. His comedic chops and distinctive screen presence made him a go-to actor for offbeat and scene-stealing roles, whether being lured across traffic in Used Cars or donning a bizarre jumpsuit in Eating Raoul. His television resume was equally rich, with appearances on The Bob Newhart Show, Mork and Mindy, Growing Pains, WKRP in Cincinnati, Scrubs, Star Trek, Voyager, and many more. His performances often added levity and warmth to each episode, however brief. He legally adopted the name Beans Morocco in the late 1980s after a character created by cartoonist M.K. Brown for National Lampoon. True to form, he asked permission before taking on the moniker, adding yet another layer of playful persona to his storied life. Outside of Hollywood, Morocco embraced life with enthusiasm, riding horses in parades, acting in local plays, and even being jokingly impeached as honorary mayor of Pine Mountain Club. He was a vibrant community member and a beloved entertainer both on and off screen. He is survived by his wife of over 50 years, Diane, his sister, Nancy, and cousins Gail and William. His son, Justin, tragically preceded him in death in 2024. Beans Morocco leaves behind a legacy of laughter, humility, and heart, a performer who may have played supporting roles but always stole the scene. Patty Maloney, the beloved 3'11" actress known for her unforgettable roles in Far Out Space Nuts and the infamous Star Wars Holiday Special, has died at the age of 89. She passed away on March 31, 2025, in hospice care in Winter Park, Florida, following several strokes, as confirmed by her brother, Dave Mirabo. Born Patricia Ann Maloney on March 17, 1936, in Perkinsville, New York, Patty faced the challenges of growing up as a little person with determination and enthusiasm. Following the death of her father, she was raised in Florida, where she later attended the University of Florida. Her life's path was shaped by her deep love for performance, which first took her to the Carnival and the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Maloney married printer Joseph Vitek in 1961, but after his death in 1968, she returned to performing, beginning with puppetry in the Croft Brothers' Fold-a-Pole. She soon became a familiar face in television and film, endearing herself to audiences with her comedic talent, expressive mime skills, and boundless charm. She is best remembered as the lovable alien Honk in Far Out Space Nuts, 1975-76, where her dancing and mime allowed her to portray a wide range of emotions without a single spoken line. In 1978, she portrayed Lumpy, Chewbacca's son, in the notorious Star Wars Holiday Special, a role in a show so panned that even George Lucas distanced himself from it. Still, Maloney took pride in the work, enduring hours in a costume made entirely of human hair. Over her career, she worked closely with Billy Barty and appeared in Little House on the Prairie, Charlie's Angels, The Love Boat, Married, With Children, Star Trek, Voyager, and My Name is Earl, among others. Her film credits include The Ice Pirates, Swing Shift, and Ernest Saves Christmas. She also operated the Crypt Keeper puppet on Tales from the Crypt, showcasing her behind-the-scenes talent. Maloney's resilience, artistry, and humor left an indelible mark on family television and cult entertainment. She is survived by her brother Dave, nieces Jennifer and Laura, and her brother-in-law Vic. Patty Maloney lived a life that defied limits and brought joy to audiences of all ages. Betsy Gay, the beloved child actress who captured hearts as Effie in The Little Rascals and later became an acclaimed yodeler, has died at the age of 96. She passed away peacefully on June 13, 2025, in Bakersfield, California, as confirmed by her close friend, Robert Satterfield. Born in 1929, Betsy Gay joined the iconic Our Gang series, later known as The Little Rascals, in the mid-1930s when she was just 6 years old. With her role as Alfalfa's sweet and spunky girlfriend Effie, Gay left an indelible mark on classic American cinema. She appeared in memorable shorts like Our Gang Follies of 1938 and Came the Brawn, becoming part of a generation's childhood memory. Her film credits extended beyond the gang, with roles in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer at the Circus and Mystery Plane, among others. By age 13, she had appeared in more than 40 films, cementing a remarkable early legacy in Hollywood. In 1941, a casting call for an Andy Clyde short at Columbia Pictures prompted a new chapter in Gay's life. Asked to yodel for the role, she discovered a hidden musical talent. That talent quickly blossomed, winning her the California State Yodeling Championship in 1945 and 1946. She performed with country legends like Stuart Hamblin and his Lucky Stars, and recorded for Capitol and Decca Records. Gay also starred on radio programs such as The Donna Meche Show and The Jimmy Wakely Show, and graced television on Country America, sharing stages with Johnny Cash, Farron Young, and the Everly Brothers. In her personal life, Gay married Thomas Cashin in 1954, and together they raised 5 children: Mimi, Gigi, Tommy, Susie, and Kathy. Despite stepping away from Hollywood, she continued to perform and stayed connected with fans, even attending the final Little Rascals reunion in 2014. Remembered as both a trailblazer in early Hollywood and a beloved figure in Western music, Betsy Gay's life was a testament to joyful expression and heartfelt connection. "She will be deeply missed," wrote Satterfield, a sentiment surely shared by generations who grew up watching her smile on screen. Kenneth Cop, beloved British actor and enduring icon of 20th century television, has died at age 93. He passed away peacefully in his sleep on September 11, 2024, at his home in Southport, surrounded by his wife Rennie Lister and their family, including children Martha, Nick, and Mark. Born April 14, 1931, in Liverpool, Cope rose from the stages of the Bristol Old Vic to become one of Britain's most recognizable screen actors. His breakout came in the 1960s as Jed Stone, a charming rogue in Coronation Street. The character quickly became a fan favorite, appearing in over 100 episodes between 1961 and 1966, with a memorable return more than 4 decades later in 2008. But Cope's most iconic role came in 1969 as Marty Hopkirk in Randall and Hopkirk, Deceased. As a ghost detective in a cream suit helping his living partner solve crimes, Cope captivated audiences with a unique blend of wit, warmth, and otherworldly charm. The show gained cult status in the UK and abroad, eventually inspiring a modern reboot. Throughout a career spanning 6 decades, Cope appeared in a range of TV hits, from The Avengers and Z-Cars to sketch comedies like This Was the Week That Was, a sharp-witted satire that became essential viewing in early 1960s Britain. His big-screen credits include roles in Carry On at Your Convenience, Carry On Matron, Rent-A-Ddick, and Juggernaut. A proud Liverpudlian and lifelong Everton fan, Cope was known not only for his acting chops, but for his natural comedic timing and unwavering professionalism. His wife Rennie, whom he met on Coronation Street, remained by his side through 63 years of marriage. Together, they raised a family and shared a love for the arts. In tribute, Coronation Street producers remembered him as a talented actor and writer, whose work left an indelible mark on the show and its fans. His agent called him an incredible icon of British TV and film. Kenneth Cope's legacy is one of imagination, generosity, and storytelling magic. Whether as a ghost solving mysteries or a streetwise charmer with a grin, he brought joy to millions and leaves behind a body of work that will continue to enchant for generations. Breaking news. She shattered every mold Hollywood tried to place on her. From a young, struggling mother on welfare to one of the few performers in history to achieve the elusive EGOT status, Whoopi Goldberg's journey is not just inspiring, it is extraordinary. But as the spotlight around her begins to dim, many are left wondering, what is really going on behind the scenes with one of the most iconic voices of a generation? Welcome to Who Died Today, USA. In this special episode, we cast our spotlight on a woman who changed the face of entertainment, Whoopi Goldberg. A comedian, actress, author, and talk show host, she is a master of transformation, both on and off the screen. But as whispers grow louder about her health, controversies, and absence from key roles, fans are beginning to ask the hard question, is the curtain quietly falling on one of Hollywood's brightest stars? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Whoopi Goldberg just taking a well-earned break, or is there more to her story than meets the eye? Born Karen Elaine Johnson on November 13, 1955 in New York City, Whoopi's early life was anything but glamorous. Raised in the Chelsea Elliott houses of Manhattan, she grappled with poverty, bullying, and an education system that failed to see her potential. But in the face of adversity, a spark of comedy and performance began to burn within her. She adopted the stage name Whoopi, a nod to her irrepressible humor, and Goldberg to reflect her family heritage. That name would soon become unforgettable. Her rise to fame was as unconventional as the woman herself. It began with a one-woman stage show, The Spook Show, which tackled social issues with humor, vulnerability, and searing honesty. Director Mike Nichols recognized her brilliance and brought her to Broadway in 1984. By 1985, she had stunned audiences and critics alike with her performance in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple. The role of Celie, a woman battered by life yet never broken, earned Whoopi her first Academy Award nomination. From there, the milestones only grew. In 1991, she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role as the quirky psychic Oda Mae Brown in Ghost, cementing her place in film history. She made us laugh in Sister Act, showed her heart in Corina, and brought dignity to the screen in Serafina. Whoopi became not just a performer, but a cultural force, a voice for those who had never been seen or heard in mainstream cinema. But it was not just the silver screen where she made her mark. Whoopi became a trailblazer on television, notably as co-host and moderator of The View since 2007. Her sharp wit and unfiltered honesty brought new energy to the daytime talk circuit. She has used the platform to speak candidly on race, politics, faith, and feminism, never afraid to speak her mind, even when it sparked controversy. Yet, behind the laughter and applause, Whoopi's journey has been marked by profound challenges. Her health struggles have been both sudden and serious. In 2019, she vanished from The View for weeks, leading fans to speculate. When she returned, the truth came out. She had battled a severe case of pneumonia and sepsis and nearly lost her life. She described the ordeal as close to leaving this earth. It was a sobering moment, reminding the world that even icons are not invincible. Since then, Whoopi has moved with more care, occasionally using a walker and even taking brief absences from the show. While she has not disclosed any chronic illness, fans have observed her declining energy and physical strain. Still, she remains fiercely dedicated, continuing to show up with the same fire in her voice, even if the pace is slower. And then, there are the controversies. In 2022, Whoopi made headlines for comments on The View regarding the Holocaust. Her assertion that the atrocity was not about race ignited a firestorm. Despite her clarification and apology, ABC suspended her for 2 weeks. The incident divided audiences. Some applauded her for owning the mistake, while others felt the wounds ran too deep. More recently, a lawsuit involving tech mogul Elon Musk made headlines. Whoopi was one of several celebrities named in an $80 million defamation suit over social media discussions regarding hate speech moderation. Although she denied wrongdoing and was ultimately dropped from the case, the drama stirred yet another wave of scrutiny. So, how has she endured? The answer lies in Whoopi's unwavering authenticity. She has never played the part of a perfect celebrity. She has been open about her past, her early struggles with housing, relationships, loss, and even how she doubted her own self-worth. Through it all, she leaned into her truth. "I am me," she once said. "That is all I can be." This honesty has endeared her to millions. Fans see a woman who does not pretend, who laughs at her own imperfections, and who refuses to conform. In a culture obsessed with youth and perfection, Whoopi stands as a reminder that strength is not in image, it is in survival. Despite health scares and backlash, Whoopi has not stepped away from her platform. She continues to champion causes she believes in, from LGBTQ+ rights to global education. She is a tireless advocate for justice, using humor as her weapon and compassion as her compass. Off-screen, she finds joy in quieter moments. Whoopi is a devoted grandmother, often speaking with pride about her family. She paints, writes, and supports emerging artists. While she rarely posts on social media, she remains a private yet powerful presence behind the scenes. In 2023, she returned to acting in Till, a film about the legacy of Emmett Till. Her role as Emmett's grandmother offered a performance both restrained and powerful. The film was yet another reminder that Goldberg's dramatic gifts remain sharp, even decades after her breakout role. Where is Whoopi Goldberg now? She is still here, still speaking, still laughing, still challenging the world to look closer, think deeper, and, above all, listen. Her voice, though softer, still carries the weight of lived experience. Her presence, though quieter, still commands attention. As she moves into her late 60s, Goldberg is not chasing fame. She is choosing legacy, choosing peace, choosing truth. And that may be the most powerful choice of all. So we ask you, when you think of Whoopi Goldberg, do you see the Oscar winner, the talk show host, the comedian? Or do you see the fighter, the woman who stood her ground, took the hits, and kept showing up? Let us know in the comments. And if her journey moved you, please like, subscribe, and share this tribute. Let us celebrate the lives of those who reshaped entertainment, not just with talent, but with courage. Thank you for joining us in honoring a true original, a survivor, a storyteller, a legend.